All right. All right, we're here. Uh, Ben and I, we are going to be. This is the start of our ranking every food tier list. We're gonna rank every food in like individual groups and then put it in one big super cut. Ben?
Be very exciting.
Yeah, it is. So we're starting with pizza today. We got a wide variety of choices. I tried to just choose the ones that most people would know about. There were more, but I just got the main ones. So, without further ado, do we want to get started?
Again,
All right. So first off, we have the logo kind of got cut off, but it's Chuck E. Cheese.
key cheese.
Have you ever had Chuck E. Cheese pizza, Ben?
Um, Once for my brother's birthday,
How long ago was that?
and we had the pizza. That was ours. Eight. I was maybe it was 5 years ago, six, seven,
Yeah, it's
four.
been a while since I've had a Chuck E. Cheese pizza, but I do not remember it fondly.
Yeah, it didn't. It certainly didn't stand out to me. Um, I remember it being pretty thin. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it's like the Pizza Hut thin crust.
Exactly. Except that's all you get.
Yeah.
Now obviously their main thing isn't pizza; it's the arcade games. But still,
We're not the arcade games. They don't affect this.
there wasn't a great amount of variety in the toppings or flavors either.
Yeah.
Um, C or D?
Yeah, I'm thinking that the pizza's pretty average. I think it's harmless enough to where it can go in C because I think D is like the worst of the worst.
I agree. We're into C.
Yeah, so we're gonna put it in C for average. All right.
Oh, slightly below average.
Yeah. So next up we got the
All right,
Totino's pizza
next.
rolls.
I've never had these, so I can't comment. Although I hear about them
Yeah,
and
I know Braden
very
really likes
highly.
them. I think I've had them a couple
Yeah,
times. They didn't really impress me too much because you bite into them and it's just imagine a ravioli pocket but with almost no filling.
that does not sound very
Yeah, I
good.
could have just got a bad batch, but I just they didn't have much pizza flavor to them.
Okay, so this one's pretty much exclusively up to you, since I've not had them. So
Yeah, I'm just trying to think like would I say that I liked them more than Chuck E. Cheese? Okay,
I was not high from Chuck E. Cheese, so
all right, I'm gonna go ahead and put them. I think the one thing that saves them is the fact that they're frozen, so they're like convenient. You don't have to get out of the house and go to a sit-down restaurant to order pizza
it's
rolls.
true. Yep.
So for that reason, I think I'm gonna put it in B. They're average.
It's a fair assessment, I would say.
All right, so now we're moving on to DiGiorno. Have you ever had a DiGiorno
I've never,
pizza?
I don't believe so. Maybe I have at somebody's like house without knowing, but
Okay,
their
so
advertising is iconic.
yeah, it's not delivery.
Um,
So I think that automatically this should just be better than all the delivery pizzas.
um, yeah, okay. I mean,
Although on a serious note,
I've never had it.
you know how Tombstone it's like the thin crust pizza.
Yeah,
DiGiorno is basically that, but with the hand tossed crust.
I like hand tossed crust. That's points from me.
All right. Yeah, I think it's
Um,
probably some of the highest quality frozen pizza. It
mhm.
tastes like an actual pizza rather than some of the other stuff.
I'd put it in B.
B. All right. Do you think it's? Do we
I'd
want
go
to
B.
order the tiers or just put them in tiers?
Let's order them,
All right.
okay?
So do you think that it's better than Totino's pizza rolls?
Yes, I
You
do.
do. All right. Dom.
Having had neither of them, that's my opinion.
Yeah, that just going off of what I've said about him.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, Domino's now.
Domino's Pizza. What do you got to say about that?
I've had Domino's a number of
Yeah, so
times,
have I.
and I've never actually been in a Domino's.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's called it in, but it's been good. Like it's consistently good.
Mm-hmm.
It's not great. It's not bad. It's just
It,
good. I like how you can track the delivery online. I'm not entirely sure how legit that is, but it's still very cool to
yeah, I
see.
like to imagine they just have a timer
And
set that like, oh, in 5 minutes it'll say it's out of the
yeah,
oven.
yeah, that's exactly. I don't know how legit it is, but it still is cool.
Yeah, it's
Um,
interesting.
well, I'd put them either A or B. What's your assessment?
Yeah, I think that Domino's pizza tastes better than most frozen pizzas,
Okay, I agree with that.
just because it tastes like actual pizza. So I'm gonna put it in A.
Okay, I can get behind that. A it is for Domino's.
Yeah. All right, now Little
Um,
Caesars. Have you ever had Little Caesars, Ben?
I had Little Caesars for the first time about a month ago.
Okay, well, I've actually never had
And
Little Caesars, so
okay,
can you
well, I'll
describe
give
it?
you my assessment. Everybody here talks about how great Little Caesars is for the price because it's cheap compared to other already cheap pizzas, so it's very inexpensive. Um, Expecting to be slightly worse than Domino's and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
It was terrible. Like
Oh,
I was not it was very greasy, and pizza's like greasy normally, but this was like overly greasy. Like grease was like pooling in
so
it.
like a gas station
Um,
Casey's pizza or something.
yeah, and aside from that, it was fine. The crust was nothing special. It was just cheese and pepperoni is all we had, so it was fine. But like, unless you're really trying to be a penny pincher, there's no reason you'd pick it over Domino's. Um,
So what do you think,
I'd
Ben?
put
Do
it
you think
above.
this just goes in? Does this you want this to go in the bottom tier?
Yeah, I mean, it could. It's on the line. They have good advertising. The pizza. I like
Yeah.
that, but that doesn't that doesn't save one in D.
They go into D.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe I got a bad batch. I can't speak. I mean, speaking of one experience is poor, but since it's all we have,
Yeah, I mean that's the only
into
experience we
D
have
it
to go off.
goes.
Okay, so have you ever had a Jack's pizza, Ben?
If prior to this video, I've never even heard of them, so nope. This
Okay.
one's all yours.
I don't know how big they are. It's probably the one I've eaten the least out of all the frozen pizzas I have on here because I eat a lot of frozen pizzas. It's just
It's the
convenient.
YouTube grind. The YouTube
Yeah.
grind.
I could eat much worse things. I don't eat fast food every day, so
That's good. That's
frozen
really
pizza is
good. I
pretty
don't
much
like
the
fast
most
food.
unhealthy thing I eat, and I think that's not bad.
Yeah, that's fine.
So you've had Tombstone pizza, obviously. It's pretty much just a slightly worse version of Tombstone pizza. They're pretty much the exact same thing, except Jack's just the cheese isn't as good.
Right. So
I'd say it's pretty average. I think it tastes better than DiGiorno and pizza rolls, but it's not as good as Domino's. So I'm gonna put it in B,
at the top of
top
B.
of B.
All right, I can get behind that as a neutral.
Yep, neutral pick. All right. So now we got Papa John's. Have I assume
It
you've
has
had Papa
arrived.
John's?
Oh, I love yeah. Um, Papa John's is always iconic to me because in like middle school,
Mm-hmm.
it would be every Tuesday we'd have. I think Tuesdays and Thursdays were pizza days, and
Yeah,
Thursday was
I
the very
remember the Papa
bad.
John's days.
That was the because Thursdays was like the square school pizza
Mm-hmm.
with like the shriveled up sausage. That is just really it's not good. It's like sawdustish.
Yeah, they
And then
still
on
have the
Tuesday,
square pizza
yeah,
at the high school. It tastes better though. It's not
it's
sawdusty.
better at the high school than it was there. But then, you on Tuesdays you would walk out of the hallway,
And it would be the
you walk out of the classroom
Papa
into the
John's.
hallway, and you'd be greeted by the aroma of Papa John's, and it was just remarkably uplifting.
Uh,
Um,
So continuing off
Woody,
that, when I was younger, Papa John's was probably my favorite pizza ever.
ah,
But then when I was in fifth or sixth grade, they changed the recipe.
really?
Yeah, I don't. Did
But I mean, I'm sure that happened.
Yeah,
I
they
just don't
changed the
remember it.
recipe, and it may have just been because after third grade, I went to the private school, and I hadn't, and I
Okay.
never ate like they didn't have Papa John's pizza there. They had a Polly Eyes.
Um,
But
and Papa John's.
the point of the story is, after I got into high school, I got Papa John's once, and it just didn't taste good anymore. I don't know why.
I don't think they were what they're. Gosh, I don't think they're what they once were.
There's
Um,
been a decline in
really
quality.
prior, like I think they hit their ceiling, their peak, right around like maybe 2012, 2013.
Think so? Is that your analysis of Papa John's
Um,
pizza?
and then recently there was the whole fiasco
Oh,
with
the Papa John's guy. Yeah,
Papa John
the
himself,
day of
and
reckoning will
what's
come.
now becoming it's now become an iconic clip of him,
I think that alone.
doused. It looks like
I think that alone
he's
warrants
doused
it
in
being in
grease.
mid tier at the very least.
He's doused in the grease, and he's the day of reckoning. The day of reckoning has arrived
What do you
now.
say? I've eaten 40 pizzas in the past 30 days.
Which to me this one is an A, and it's an A above Domino's.
All right,
Um,
I'm gonna respect that just because for Papa John himself.
okay, that was yeah. I think that one ranks highly for me on the sentimentality thing.
Yeah,
That it gets big points there.
that's fair. So have you ever had
Uh,
these Totino's party pizzas, Ben?
I had them one time, maybe
Okay,
twice.
were you
Have you
impressed
had
by
them?
them?
You had them?
Yeah, I'll let you say what you want to say first because
Okay.
I have quite a bit of
Um,
stuff to say about these.
so I had them at a friend's birthday party, and he loved them. They were like his, when you select a food for your birthday party at a young age,
Mm-hmm.
it's the elite food. Like it is the upper echelon for sure.
Of course.
And he went with these pizzas, and what I distinctly remember about them is that they felt really small. I think they were smaller.
Yeah,
Maybe that's what they're
they're
called,
smaller
party
sized.
pizzas. But like, it felt like they just like crammed all the cheese on a big pizza just into the smaller pizza. So I remember it being really cheesy and just like dripping with cheese. Um, and I remember it being really hot. It didn't cool down very well. Maybe that's because of all the cheese. I'm not quite sure, but it was fine. I've had better pizza. Yeah, it wasn't great. What's your take?
All right, so yeah, I have quite a bit of stuff to say, but without saying too much, on my mom's side of the family, we didn't have like a super whole lot of money growing up, so we ate a lot of these Totino's party pizzas, and they were granted it could just be you have the bias towards Papa John's because it's nostalgic. For me, it was these things. I still eat these quite a bit. I'd say they're probably my second favorite, only after Tombstone.
Really, really.
Yeah,
This is
I've never had a
the first
problem like you
one.
were describing with the extra cheese and stuff. So you may have just gotten a bad one.
Uh, Extra cheese didn't bother me. I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah. I will say this, the one thing that I do have a problem with on their pizzas is that the whenever you get the classic pepperoni where it's the circle pepperoni, they give you like two pieces of pepperoni per slice.
it's an issue.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's an issue.
the first one where we've really had a big divide in our opinion. So where were you gonna put this one?
I was going to put it in A tier below Domino's.
Really, I had it in C tier above Chuck E. Cheese.
All right. Do you want to meet in the middle and put it above Jack's in B tier,
Mm,
or between, or like somewhere in B tier? Let's meet in the middle there, but we have to decide like.
I'll put it in between the DiGiorno's and Totino's pizza rolls.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay,
All right.
great trade
All
deal.
right. Pizza Hut. Now this is I'm sure you've eaten Pizza Hut.
Love Pizza Hut.
So what are
Pizza Hut's to me
Pizza Hut is
is
probably the
it's
best pizza
elite.
restaurant in my opinion.
I agree with that. I cannot think of a time where I've ever been disappointed in one.
Yeah, that's true. The only thing that I really have a gripe with about Pizza Hut is the price.
Expensive.
It's like
It
twenty
is
dollars
expensive,
for a
isn't it?
large pizza.
Yeah. I agree, it's expensive, but I think it's well worth it.
That's true. And they have the wings.
They have stuffed. If we're counting that, but the wings are good, and they have stuffed crust and deep dish.
Yeah, they got variety.
Which yeah, they got way more variety than anybody
I,
else. Maybe Domino's rivals it, and maybe Papa John's, but
I don't think Domino's
to
I don't
me,
think
Pizza
Domino's
Hut.
had stuffed crust.
There's a number of options you can do at Pizza Hut. Number of topping things and stuff. Um, you can get like the dessert pizzas.
Yeah, there's a lot of
I don't
stuff.
know. It's difficult for me to pick out something negative outside of the price.
So are we just gonna agree that this goes into S tier?
Yeah, this is going to be the first
The
S tier in
first
the
S
history of this.
tier restaurant and just the first S tier thing in general.
Yeah.
All right, so Red Baron. Have you ever had a Red Baron pizza, Ben?
Never had one of these. No, I haven't.
Uh,
Well,
I mean, it's kind of hard to just explain the differences between pizzas. I guess a good way to explain Red Baron, it's kind of in a nice area between thin crust and deep dish.
okay.
Um, I'd say it's pretty average for that. It tastes like pizza. Um,
Okay.
it's pretty high quality for frozen pizza. I'm pretty sure it's maybe the most expensive frozen pizza.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Uh,
Okay.
I'm gonna put it. I mean, you've never had one of these, so I'll just say that than it's better than DiGiorno, but I still prefer Jack's, the frozen small circle ones. I don't know what it is
All
about
right.
the small plastic wrapped circle pizzas, but those are always some of the best ones.
Oh, it's Tombstone.
All right, the final one. Do we really need to debate as to where this goes?
Yeah, I think all that needs to be said about this one is I have a framed picture of it hung on my
Yeah,
wall.
Tombstone Pizza beats Pizza Hut as the greatest pizza to ever
Yeah.
exist.
It's really not terribly close.
It's kind of just
It's what
a
it is.
one. It's kind of just a one-sided fight.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Like it's artisan food.
It is.
It's art.
Uh,
Um,
it's like $1, which is if I'm like jokes aside for a second, for $1, it's a really good pizza.
yeah, I'm sure that that's right.
Yeah, I mean you've had one before when you were over at my house.
Yeah, it folds up if you leave the cardboard on.
Yeah, I mean I'm pretty sure we've told that story a million times on the
Yeah.
channel by now, but
One thing I also remember is it's really easy to eat, which is an issue. I think it's an issue with pizza that often flies under the radar.
yeah, if it's
Is
too
that if you get a pizza
cheesy
that's
and it's all
greasy or
soggy.
like too cheesy, it'll drip.
Hmm.
Which with pizza serving as a mainly party food that's oftenly eaten in living rooms or on couches, you don't want
Yeah,
that. But I remember when I ate the Tombstone pizza. But you also hold on before you also run the danger if you make it uh, too dry, then it's easier to eat, but it's not tasty. So you have to walk that
and
line,
I think Tombstone walks
and I
that
think
line pretty
Tombstone
well.
it walks it really well. I remember when I had it, it didn't drip anywhere, but it was still cheesy enough and
Hmm.
had that not overly
Yeah, the
so
cheese is moist, but
high
you don't
marks.
see it drip anywhere.
Exactly,
I
exactly.
think one part of the
Um,
story about the whole me and Braden burning the Tombstone pizza to where it cooked up in the shape of a taco shell. I think the one thing that we never did tell is that we when we put it in the oven, one of the pepperonis fell off onto the bottom of the oven and it just kind of caught on fire and turned completely black. It's
it's,
still at the bottom of our oven to this
um,
day.
we have them all ranked
So
now.
yeah,
Do we want to make any changes
Ben has officially told us that Little Caesars pizza is the worst pizza.
on this list? I think it is.
I would say Chuck E. Cheese would be D tier as well, but I think that the pizza's harmless and the arcade games kind of save it.
Enough to go down to D tier. It's like what you expect because it's not the main product
Yeah,
again. Little Caesars is a pizza restaurant,
yeah,
and
and
the
the pizza's
pizza
worse.
made it seem. Yeah, exactly. So I'd be fine with knocking the Tostino's rolls down to C.
Yeah, I'm honestly
Um,
fine with doing that too. Braden's probably gonna get mad if he sees this, but
Well, they're going down. I'm putting them ahead of Chuck E. Cheese,
Yeah,
though.
I did the same.
So again, just to recap,
We,
S tier is Tombstone and Pizza Hut.
mm-hmm.
A tier is Papa John's and then
Yeah.
Domino's. Tier is going to be Jack's, Red Baron, DiGiorno's, and Tostino's Party
Yeah, the
Pizza.
B's are all like the average pizzas.
I mean, you can tell by the positioning. That's the average. C is going to be the pizza rolls and then Chuck E. Cheese.
Those are slightly below
And then D
average.
is the pitiful Little Caesars, sadly.
We need to just go out and destroy Little Caesar.
I think they should sponsor us.
Sponsor us and we'll move you to second place on the tier
To
list.
C tier. Yeah, that's right.
You can't beat Tombstone, I'm sorry.
That's right.
Imagine if we get a sponsorship from Tombstone Pizza one day.
We will one day. We're getting there. So yeah.
Yep, this
was episode 1 of Ranking Every Food. We're started with frozen pizzas.
or just pizza in general. This is going to be a long series. It's going to take time, but we're going to go through every food ever created.
Every food.
Every last food.
That's right. Uh-huh.